So what would your life be like without writing, and do you have any regrets looking back? So I know I can answer that, but I'll go last. Vidya.
So far, I don't think I have any regrets. I probably haven't gone far enough with it yet, which is probably why. What was the first part of that again?
What would your life be like without writing?
I don't know. I guess it'd be before, like it was before I got serious about it, which would mean that I would spend a lot of time daydreaming and not writing it down. That's because I spent God knows how much time doing that before I started actually writing. So yeah, I can't think of any regrets I have with actually writing. I can think of a couple of things that I wish I'd done to kind of further my writing a bit more, but so far I haven't regretted becoming a serious writer.
That's good.
At least that I can think of.
That's good.
If I have, I've blocked it out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't, if the good things didn't outweigh the regrets. I mean, yeah. We would just all quit.
I can't imagine my life without writing, because it's something I've done since I could pick up a crayon. Yeah, I don't know what it would be like. Well, maybe I can. Maybe I would have actually gone into academia and become that museum curator that I always wanted to do. Or that I thought I wanted to do, but really I just wanted to do research for my writing. So I don't know that I can imagine life without it. I have regrets. They're too painful to actually talk about, but I do have them. But I'm hoping, with good things to come in the future, that someday they won't be.
Yeah. Understandable.
So if I wasn't writing, my life would be the same, just something else slotted into the writing spot. Maybe it would be something lucrative and I'd be rich, but I kind of doubt it. I'd probably be doing the collages or some other art that doesn't make any money. As far as regrets, mostly just that I haven't finished the things that I wanted to finish, and that most of the things I have finished have not been as good as I wanted them to be. But I'm pretty sure every single has those regrets, so it's not like it's anything special. And really the only thing that I can do, or that anyone can do, is sit down tomorrow and open the Word file and put more words into it, and then cry into our lattes. That's pretty much the only thing that will fix that. So.
I think I would probably be a lot further in the video games that I'm playing in series. I don't know if it would be that appreciably different. I guess I'd have more vacation time too. I wouldn't be taking it to go to conferences. I don't know that I have any regrets about it yet. Or maybe I should, and maybe I haven't been paying close enough attention. But I think so far, well, I do wish I spending more time with people around here sometimes instead of being shut up writing. But other than that, it's been mostly a positive thing for me.
That's good. I mean, I think it's true for all of us that if we really, really regretted it, we wouldn't be doing it. But yeah, for me, I feel like my biggest regret really is the career thing. And I don't know, it took me several years to make my peace with that. I think I've kind of gotten there finally. But I spent 4 or 5 years just agonizing, and I did go through a period where I said, that's it, I'm giving up the writing. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not touching that Word doc. And I just kept touching it, or I kept going back to it. And I was like, no, I just have another story idea, and I just want to write this one down, and then that'll be it. I'm going to do it again. And I really enjoy it, and I think it's given me a lot of fulfillment in my life, so I keep doing it. But yeah, but I do have some regrets that I'll never know if like what my full potential would have been in my career, and that's okay. I'm okay. Like I am okay with that, but it did take me like 4 or 5 years to be okay with that.
I think that definitely, if I did try to stop writing, I would miss it. Like if I deliberately tried to stop writing, I mean, I think it would have been one thing if I'd never started and if I'd never gotten serious about it. But yeah, now that I am, I mean, I tend to think a lot about it, like during daily life. Just granted, I haven't been getting as far editing my books, but you know, I think I look at something and think about my characters, or you know, it's like, ooh, that would be a really cool plot twist. I was like, I want to write that now. I mean, it's something that's kind of filtered into my everyday life now, at least in terms of my thought processes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, yeah, it's like, I think being a writer, you tend to look at things in a different way, and the more you learn about the craft of writing, the more you start like trying to apply that to your everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
It kind of enriches your life in a way. I'm not sure I ever in my life looked forward to mowing the lawn or doing the dishes before, but now it's an uninterrupted, half hour or hour to do mindless work and think about characters, and then be in the middle of something and can't write it down when I desperately need to.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so true. It's like, yeah, like I look forward to walking my dog every day because I can think out some story problems. Perfect opportunity. Yeah, whereas before I probably would have just said, oh, I'm not going to have a dog. God, that's too much work. Okay, so yeah, does anyone have anything else they want to say about what inspired you to get serious about it and how it's affected your life?
Well, I think for me it's been the best thing I've ever done. Like I said, it's totally enriched my life with new friends and made me a more confident person. Yeah, it's just been the best thing I've ever decided to do for myself.
Yeah.
As frustrating as it is.
Yeah, I agree. It's really strange. It's like a mix of frustration and joy because it really does enrich your life so much. Yeah. And I keep undervaluing the fact that, yeah, it probably has boosted my self-confidence and my social life by quite a lot. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and maybe this is going back to the first thing about becoming a serious writer, but, I mean, whatever stage you're in, I think maybe, at least for me, I'd say just deciding that I was going to be a serious writer, I think it's been a huge improvement for me, where it makes me happy. Yeah. And, very frustrated sometimes, but a lot of times it makes me happy to be working on something, so.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like the frustration almost outweighs the happiness, but it's like...
It happens.
Yeah, but I find for me the frustration comes when you're talking about the business end of the writing life. It's actually sitting down and putting words on paper always brings me joy at the end of the day. And when I've had a really good day, or even writing just a couple hundred words, I find for at least 24 hours after that I'm giddy and I'm like, because I wrote, so I do call it my crack because I get that writing high after putting a few words on paper.
Yeah, that's why we keep doing it.
Yeah, I think the business side is probably the most depressing aspect of it, because especially lately, like it seems like everything I hear is just don't bother, self-publish or whatever. That's actually part of why I haven't really worked on my novel much for the past year or 2 years, is that it felt like every time I went to get more advice about writing or selling novels or whatever, all I was hearing was, there's no point, just self-publish. And that didn't excite me because, I mean, I was on Elfwood, so I'm very well aware of how easy it is to put my stuff on the internet for other people without going through anything, and it just doesn't, I don't know. And so I was like, well, if that's the option, then why bother? I mean, I can put things on my blog without going through anything, so I don't know. I guess, like, the idea that it suddenly became too easy also, I was just like, well, if it's easy, then I'll find something hard to do. I don't know. There are things wrong with me, but Yeah.
But that's not one of them, I'm sorry.
No.
Well, it's
Actually, the fact that it's so easy that anybody can put their stuff out there, I agree, it's really frustrating because, how if we were to put our stuff out there, how are they going to find us? They don't know who we are.
Yeah.
Like, it's a crapshoot unless you do really, really well at self-promotion. And I'm not particularly great at that. So, I agree, actually. It's very frustrating that it has become so easy that anybody can do it.
well, I mean, on the one hand, I kind of like that, I know that if I finished a book and no one wanted to buy it, like, it's not dead, it's not game over at that point. I think it was mostly that it felt like the only advice was don't bother getting an agent, don't bother, and that was what really set me. I was just like, well, if there's no reason in bothering on all the stuff that I've spent the past 15 years, like, gearing up to try and do, then, I don't know, I will play Final Fantasy instead.
I had a writer tell me that. I'm up in Canada, and he was here doing a reading, and, like all aspiring writers, you go up to him and go, so do you have any advice? And, I'd already been through Odyssey, so, of course, he didn't know that. And he said, don't bother trying to get a New York agent. You're from Canada, you'll never get one. Try for a Toronto agent at best. And I looked at him and I thought, yes, but I've already checked out the Toronto agent market, and there are none that are representing science fiction or fantasy. There are a couple now, but there weren't a couple of years ago. And it was like he was telling me, don't even bother. Just don't bother. Give up. You're useless. And it put me in a bad spot for a while, but fortunately I'm stubborn, and I didn't give up. Because I thought, well, I'm going to show you. And so far I have. I got a New York agent, so...
Good for you. Yeah, I agree. Like, there's so much discouraging rhetoric that we all hear about getting published, and not only that, we've experienced rejections. Like, we know it's hard. But I feel like for me, like, I have this faith that, like, I think my writing is good. I think other people will like it, and I like to think that a publisher someday will realize that. And it will get out there. And if it doesn't, I like the fact that I can self-publish and self-promote. And it's scary. It is a crapshoot, and it's extremely scary. But I like to think that people will recognize something good when they see it.
Yeah.
It's just like, you have to, I guess in the back of your mind, you have to believe that, or you are going to give up and get scared. Yeah, but it is scary. I mean, we all know it. And I'm sure, like, any writer starting out now hears all of this as well. So I guess that's about it. Thank you all for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.